Hello everyone, tonight on Business Live, President Akufo-Addo charges telecom giant MTN to explore the opportunities for Ghanaian young entrepreneurs in the tech space as the telecom giant marks 25 years of operations in Ghana. Also coming up, Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Isiamah orders telecom companies which have their masts on the path of flights to the Wa Airport to, as a matter of urgency, take them off as commercial flights are set to resume. Also tonight, on the Joy Business Van, we head to the startup adding class to the Northern Ghana delicacy, Tuozafi. Thanks for being with us tonight. Details right after this break. To look at the commodity market, we're keeping our eyes on the price of Brent crude going up to $70 a barrel, which could affect pricing here locally as well. But tonight, President Akufo-Addo has charged telecoms giant MTN to explore opportunities for Ghanaian young entrepreneurs in the tech space. He has challenged the company to invest in the growth of startups and add on other innovations that will promote the use of digital technology in the country. The president was speaking at a ceremony to launch the 25th anniversary of MTN in Ghana.
The operations of MTN started with Scancom as one of the privately owned mobile telecommunication firms in the country. According to President Akufo-Addo, the operations of the company have transformed the country's digital transformation journey so far, a situation he believes should be archived in a museum for generations yet unborn to learn about. The president charged the company to embark on an aggressive startup investment to support the country's youth and thereby bridging the digital divide.
Through the Accra Digital Center, government is providing state-of-the-art commercial office spaces for ICT businesses and BPOs and trains the youth in startup businesses. I'm charging MTN to invest also in promoting startups, reducing the gender digital divide, and stimulating the vibrant technology hub space. You should also work with your sector ministry and the industry to establish a telecommunications museum to chronicle and showcase our developments and achievements in this sector, because we have a story to tell.
Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esla Osu-Akufo, expressed confidence that MTN will continue to support government's policy initiatives in the ICT sector.
MTN zero-rated educational sites for thousands of educational sites and enabled our young people to study and learn remotely, amongst other innovations that you pioneered. As government works to deepen digitalization in a more sustainable way, we look forward to greater industry collaboration and partnerships with you to move the Ghanaian telecoms market into the forefront of the African continent. Ghana is poised to be the digital hub of the sub-region, and we will do so with private sector partners like MTN.
The chief executive of MTN, Solomon Dadevo, highlighted some key strategies for the company in the years ahead.
Our vision is to lead the delivery of a bold new digital world to our customers. And this underpins our sustained investment in the MTN Ghana business in the areas of rural connectivity, encapsulating everywhere you go, and in implementing digital platforms to give the opportunity to our customers to live a modern, connected life. To achieve this, we have repositioned our strategy from Bright to Ambition 2025, which aims to build the largest and most valuable platform business with a focus on Africa.
MTN is currently the largest telecommunication service provider in the country.
Kwaku Ofori-Asiamah has ordered telecom companies which have their masts on the pass of flights to the Wa Airport to, as a matter of urgency, remove them or the ministry takes action. The warning comes as commercial flights are set to resume soon at the Wa Airport. There's more in this report by Rafiq Salam.
The euphoria that greeted the resumption of commercial flights in the Upper West region suddenly ended on a dull fad after 17 months of its operation by Africa World Airlines. Since then, there have been several visits made by ministers from the aviation ministry to the airport to abreast themselves of factors which has halted the otherwise smooth operations of commercial flights at the airport. The halting of commercial flights at the Wa Airport, according to Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali, has impacted negatively on the lives of the people.
Business people used to travel to Accra, do their businesses, and come immediately. It is no longer the case. We now have a regional hospital, and we are in talks with consultants in some of the facilities in Accra, and they agreed to always come here. But because the flights are no longer operating, they are unable to come. We have a university here, University for Business and Integrated Development Studies. They want to mount a law program here, and most of the lecturers are based in Accra. Because the flights are not coming, they are unable to mount the program. So all this are affecting the forward march of the Upper West region.
Members of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs in their last meeting with President Akufo-Addo a few weeks ago appealed to the latter to work on the challenges which has halted the operation of the commercial flights from the Wa Airport. President Akufo-Addo therefore tasked the Transport Minister Kwaku Ofori-Asiamah to ensure that these challenges are worked on. Together with officials of the Civil Aviation and the Ghana Airport Company, he took a tour of the Wa Airport to acquaint himself with the challenges to enable him do a quick fix on them. Notable among the challenges was the sighting of telecommunications marks on the paths of the flight at Mangu and Poguri, who the minister said will be removed.
My information is that this matter had come to the notice of National Security, Ghana Civil Aviation, Ghana Airport Company had complained, NCA had all complained to the company, giving them directive to remove the mask. As of today, they haven't done so. I think that it's our responsibility to remind them of their obligation, the obligation of removing the mask that they have erected there, so that it will allow the plane to come. We are going to give them a reminder, and I'm hoping that this time they will listen to us. If they don't do so, I think that it is our responsibility to create safety for our people. The planes will come. We are not going to allow the mass to be a standing block on our way. The planes must come, and they will come.
Mind you, this is not the first time such a fiat has been issued and went on unheeded too. Will it change this time round?
I think I did promise you that hour will come. They only come if the mass is not on the flying path. So if I had said the hour will come, it means that the mass will not be there. We need to give them time, and the time is now.
Mr. Kwaku Ofori-Asiamah was not happy about the encroachment at the Wa Airport.
This land is going to be used for the general good of everybody. I will not allow individuals to come and encroach on our lands. The land that government has acquired to build an airport for the people of this country cannot be encroached by certain individuals. They have encroached it, but we are going to use the legal means, the lawful ways to make sure that they don't come back.
The transport minister later called on the overlord of the Wala traditional area, now for City people the fourth and his subjects to brief them on his mission in the traditional area before heading back to the Wa airport to fly to Accra.
The people of the Upper West region have lost count the number of times ministers do come to this airport for inspection. It is their hope that it will not only be the last, but it will ease their burden on air travels in the region. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam.
And we head back to Accra, Parliament to be specific, because the Minister of State designate at the Finance Ministry, Charles Edubwine, has justified recent borrowings by government. According to him, this was due to severe revenue shortfalls and negative impact of COVID-19 on the economy. Mr. Edubwine disclosed this in response to questions from some members of the Appointments Committee of Parliament during his vetting. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo joins me now with more on the vetting of Mr. Edubwine today. Gakpo, if you can hear me, how did it go? Okay, we are trying to fix the issue with sound at Parliament. Yeah, I can hear Gakpo now. Take it away, Gakpo.
Very well, Darrell. His vetting has focused on a myriad of issues ranging from the management of the economy over the last 4 years to his role as Deputy Minister at the Finance Ministry. You know, he's moving out of the role as Deputy Minister into the Minister of State role. He's essentially been responding to questions having to do with how government managed the economy during the era having to do with the COVID-19 pandemic. He's also been responding to questions having to do with government borrowing. He's been responding to questions having to do with how government sought to collateralize the country's gold royalties with the Japa deal. And he's also been responding to questions about the country's bond issuance. And he's essentially been defending how government has managed the economy over the last 4 years and insisting that the rate of borrowing is not out of place as the picture has been painted. He indicated that as of December 2021, the country's debt to GDP ratio was around 76%, despite the fact that the IMF holds a different position, that there is an extra 8 billion in addition to the figure that government has actually indicated is the real debt, which is 292 billion, and insisted that they have reclassified the debts having to do with the energy sector because they call that corporate debt, which is being paid using separate arrangements. The conversation around the role that his company had played in terms of how bonds have been issued with the Black Stars advisory firm, he indicates that a lot of it has been through very transparent processes that were mainly led by the Bank of Ghana and not the Finance Ministry, and so he can't be cited for any incidents of conflict of interest either. So those were some of the issues that came up, and we're waiting eventually for what the recommendation from the committee will be as far as his approval is concerned. But the indication that we're getting from both NPP and NDC MPs is that they will support him in order for him to get the necessary approval. There were questions about the role a Minister of State will play vis-a-vis the Finance Minister himself, but the indication was that the President has clearly defined there are two separate roles, and so there won't be any clash of any sort. So we're expecting that later in the week, the Deputy Finance Ministers designate two of them, including Abena Osei-Asare and John Kuma, will also be appearing before the committee separately in order to undergo their various vetting.
And what was the reaction to his responses on government borrowing, debt crisis, and also issues to do with Ejapa from the MPs that vetted him?
So essentially, Mr. Edubwine's position is that with regards to what happened with the COVID-19 pandemic and how government had to bring in resources in order to deal with some of those challenges, well, the current debt situation cannot exactly be blamed on excessive government spending, and that a lot of the money that had to be borrowed, which then resulted in the debt rising to 292 billion, were very necessary to keep the economy running and to support various aspects of the economy, including some of the social services that government provided when it comes to the COVID-19 pandemic. But he went on to indicate that, as has been outlined repeatedly, there's a plan going forward that would ensure an adequate economic recovery so that then some of those expenditures don't exactly slide the economy into a state that would be unsustainable to a certain extent. So he says that clear plan is there, which he would be supporting the Minister of Finance to help implement going forward.
All right, I know that some other nominees have faced the Appointments Committee. Maybe you want to run us through that before you go.
And so there are 3 other nominees who are appearing before the Appointment Committee today. The first being Mr. Adu Boahene, who is the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, whose vetting happened earlier in the day. Subsequently, the Deputy Minister Designate for Lands and Natural Resources, Benito Owusu-Bio, appeared before the committee, and he responded to questions around small-scale mining activities and the efforts that government is actually making to streamline those exercises so that then the issues having to do with illegal mining are avoided, and so that clearly legally approved small-scale mining processes contribute to a certain extent when it comes to the development of the economy. Subsequent to that, we've had the Deputy Minister Designate for Local Government, Obi Amwa, appear before the committee, and the final candidate appearing would be AC Ntim, who is the second Deputy Minister Designate also for the Local Government Ministry. All right, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, great to see you again in Parliament. We'll talk later. You're watching Business Live. My name is Darrell Kwao. Ahead, we have the Joy Business Van coming up. We'll be telling you about how one startup is making Tuo-Zafie very classy. That story after this break. You're still watching Business Live. It's a Wednesday, and that means we get to bring you the Joy Business Van. Now, if you want your product to sell, presentation and packaging really count, and that is making startup Muna Tuo-Zafie stand out. It was started by pharmacist Miriam Badu, who was looking to start something different in the food business. The Joy Business Van paid her a visit.
For Joy Business Van, this is Miriam Badu, CEO of Muna Tuo-Zafie. I'm a pharmacist by profession. I graduated from KNUST in 2007. And I'm currently a practicing pharmacist with special focus in sales and marketing in the pharma industry.
So what is a practicing pharmacist doing selling Tuwo Zaafi?
So it all started 2 years ago. That was in 2019. After close of work one night, I was in deep thoughts, and interestingly, I stumbled upon the food businesses in Ghana. So I decided to do a little research online to see what their focus was on. And I realized that most of the focus was on the rice dishes, and most of them were packaged very nicely. But when you research into Tuwo Zaafi, which is a delicacy by the Northerners, I'm a Northerner, and having those roots, I thought it's intriguing to at least venture into that kind of business.
Tuwo Zaafi, the thick porridge of corn flour, eaten by tearing off a chunk and dipping it into a soup, usually of a green leaf, locally called ayoyo, is a staple food of the people in the northern part of the country.
Looking at the way people love Tuwo Zaafi, especially those in Accra, realize that a lot of them prefer to go to their favorite food joints, or better still, to order for it and sit at the comfort of their homes and eat it. Having in mind that Tuwo Zaafi is something that is not so easy to prepare at home. So looking at all those in totality, we decided to give it a try. And our first major break came in 2019, that's 2019, when pharmacists were having their annual general meeting in Accra with over 2,000 pharmacists present. So we were able to register as a vendor, and then we served Tuwo Zaafi hot on the premises. And the feedback we got afterwards was very mind-blowing.
That was when Miriam decided to give a bit more attention to the business, targeting corporate institutions. She developed the Muna Pack.
With this Muna Pack concept, there's so much excitement on the market. Anyone who has seen it is so fascinated by the packaging. The pack alone is inviting. Plus we have a table mat, wet wipe, spoons, and then the various things that go with it.
The packs are eco-friendly. Being a pharmacist, Miriam knows too well packaging hot food in polythene bags, as is often the case, is unhealthy. The Muna packs are doing very well thanks to social media.
The main challenge has to do with the cost of delivery. So what we currently do is that we run a 50% discount. So we pay 50% of your delivery cost to the delivery company, because we've partnered with a delivery company, so that you only have to pay 50% of the other delivery cost. It's working a bit, but we are looking to ensure that in future we can also have our fleet of riders, so that we can reduce the delivery costs to the customers.
As orders continue to increase, Miriam has got great plans for Muna Tuwo Zaafi.
We want to expand, and as we expand, we also want to introduce the other sources of soups that you can use to accompany the TZ. We have the bra soup, we have the dry okra soup, we have the miankuka soup. So we want to gradually introduce all these to the people of Accra, so that they can also get accustomed to new varieties which are equally nutritious. And not just that, the long-term business is to also expand our branches outside Accra, and in future, if possible, because we're already thinking of ways to package it to those outside the country as well.
Taking Tuwo Zaafi international, well, that sounds exciting. Great stuff. How about Tuwo Zaafi for supper tonight? it wouldn't be a bad idea. Loretta, what do you think? She says yes. That's my director there. That's Business Live tonight. Just to let you know, there's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business, including a story that is just coming through to us that British Airways has reverted its Accra London Accra flights to Heathrow Airport. Remember that controversy. We understand that the British Airways has reverted to Heathrow. Sources close to Joy Business say the decision is due to a drop in traffic levels for winter as the UK continues to have quarantines and red lists. So after winter, what happens? I guess we'd have to explore. myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Kwab. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time tomorrow.